Hi, welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. Well, for us, Easter was a week ago, but my story of Jesus today is only a few hours after the first people found out Jesus was alive again. Those who found out first were a group of women who'd gone to Jesus' tomb, expecting to anoint his dead body with special perfumes and spices. You see, because Jesus had been buried in a hurry, none of those normal things had been done, so they wanted to go and do this final thing for him. When they got there, they found the tomb was empty instead. And then some of them met Jesus, who told them to go and tell his disciples where he was going and to meet them there. Today I wanted to tell you about that first encounter of the disciples. Now, the disciples had locked themselves away. After everything that had happened to Jesus, I think they were afraid that they might be next. Suddenly, without anyone letting anyone else in the door, Jesus was there with them, talking with them, eating with them, and they were finding out from him everything that he'd done in his life so far was only the beginning. Now, Jesus said, the real work is going to begin. As you can imagine, the disciples were confused, excited, happy, surprised, probably a whole lot more emotions as well. And what a great time that must have been. Now, I said the disciples had locked themselves in there. Well, it turns out one of them wasn't in the room at the time. I don't know where he was, but when Jesus visited, one of the disciples called Thomas wasn't there. By the time he got back, Jesus had left. Everyone, though, was still excited and talking about Jesus, and they told Thomas all about it. Now, I think Thomas was a little disappointed and also found it hard to accept what he was being told. Eventually, he told the others that he wasn't going to believe them until he saw Jesus for himself, and that was that. So you can probably guess what happened about a week later. Again, the disciples were all together. Thomas was there this time, and Jesus came again to see them. Thomas was amazed like the others, and all was good again. But there was a final word that Jesus left with them. He said that they were happy and believed because they'd seen him. And Jesus said, how much happier will people be? The people who would come after those disciples, people who would believe in Jesus, in everything he said, and believe in him as their saviour and their friend. He said those people would be even happier because they believed even though they hadn't seen him. I do wonder if there was a moment there for the disciples where they realised that even though they'd had this incredible journey with Jesus, learning from him, personally seeing everything he did and really knowing him as their teacher, even with all of that, they might have just missed something because they still only trusted what they saw. And Jesus was saying that the real truth didn't even need to be seen. I know it can be hard to believe things we can't see. Having said that, there are things we believe in every day that we can't see. The wind is great. We feel it, we see its effects, but we can't see wind. For me, believing in Jesus is a little bit like that. I can see his effect, I can feel him and understand his influence on me, but I can't see him. I can only experience what wind feels like by going outside and putting myself in a place where it is windy. In the same way, I can only experience something of who Jesus is and see his effects by putting myself in a place where I can explore who Jesus is. If that's something you'd like to try, do let me know. And I'd be really happy to point you at a way to help you do that. There are several different courses we know. There's one called Alpha, one called Christianity Explored, another called Start. There's loads of them. And they're all a little bit different and all will fit different people. So I'd love to help you find the best one for you. For now, God bless you, and I'll see you next time.